Streamlabs OBS under a lot of fire from everyone this week as nearly they posted a nearly identical web page copy from I think it was Lightstream turned into everyone airing slob's dirty laundry. This is just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. I think it's Lightstream. They posted on Twitter their webpage and then an updated page from Streamlabs OBS that is quite literally as close to being identical as you can get. For example, the exact same WordPress template, which I was like, okay, that happens all the time. Lots of people use the same WordPress template, that's fine. Then you look at the copy to describe the actual product and service, and it's the exact kind of changing of the, here, give me your homework, I'll change a couple of words, nobody will ever be able to tell that I copied it, and we'll be fine. It's that level of fucking copy difference. Then perhaps the worst thing that they could have done, of all of the things that they didn't modify, at the very bottom, they copied word for word the testimonials for Lightstream on Streamlabs. So they just removed the name of the person and word for word the same Lightstream, changed my streaming life, blah, 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 blah. And they just copied and pasted the whole fucking testimonial. It's not even for their product. It's for somebody else's product. And they put the same testimonial at the bottom of their fucking page. It was the most egregious fucking copying I've ever seen. And so that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Then people saw that. It went semi-viral, 20,000 retweets, with which, within the gaming community is all it takes for everyone to see the shit. And then it was everyone came out to fucking just beat the shit. Everyone grabbed a baseball bat and started swinging at Streamlabs OBS, one after the other. OBS themselves came out and said, hey, remember that time when Streamlabs came to us and asked if they could use OBS in our name because they were using our open source software? And we said, thank you for asking, but we'd appreciate it if you didn't. And then they went ahead and did it anyway. And not only that, but then they filed for a fucking trademark on top of that, immediately following. And then they paid a shitload of money in Google ads consistently so that when you search just OBS in Google, Streamlabs OBS is at the very top of the fucking list and not Open Broadcast Software, the original company. More than that, old employees started coming out of the woodwork to let you know what it's like inside the company. Chiefly, the marketing team apparently all but exclusively got fired en masse back in 2018.
The thing, man. Here's the thing. I mean, they deserve all this heat. All right, they do. But at the same time, bro, you know what I'm sick and tired of? I'm sick and tired of these people coming out from these companies and bitching and complaining and throwing gasoline on the fire. If you had issues, right, with the way shit was going down, then why don't you voice the issues?
Oh, they did, and then they got fired.
Happening? No, I mean publicly. Like, why don't you tell people this stuff? Why don't you come out and say, guys, shit, tons of us just got fired from this shit. Oh, and by the way, this is the fucking slimy shit they're doing. But instead, they wait till almost 2022 when they're under fire, and then they start piling in, man. I'm not a fan of that shit, man. I'm just not a fan.
Well,
I'm not saying they shouldn't speak up. There's something that just doesn't seem sincere. It's hard for me to get on board with these people that do this stuff when you're picking a very specific time to do it. And it's like the most opportune time. Like, why not just come out and say the shit before, man? Why now?
I don't know, of all the stuff that came out, for example, there was one employee that got fired because 3 weeks before TwitchCon, they gave her the responsibility to set up the TwitchCon booth for Streamlabs. And she's like, okay, well, I got 3 weeks to make this happen. And she brought it to them. She said, I want, she was adamant about wanting the booth at TwitchCon be wheelchair accessible, which seems like a relatively reasonable ask. Make it wheelchair
Makes
accessible.
sense.
They didn't want to hear about it. And she was adamant about it. So they fired her. So there was lots of examples of stuff like that. Now, the thing is...
Here's the thing, man.
Yes.
I just can't believe that, right? That's the thing, right? Because what we're doing, Adam, and we gotta, if we're gonna play this game, we have to, we can't, you're saying that it's factual, right?
Sure.
We can't just say this shit, right? It's the same thing that happened with Twitch with the password leaking. People are like, oh, now accounts are, we're not hearing shit about that. I mean, I continue to look into it. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody. So, before listening to somebody that's angry or a random source, right, it's hard to just, I know we want to because they've done some dumb, and it's just like, oh, okay, then I'm sure that they've done this. I just have a hard time joining the bash machines when I'm only getting one side of the story. That's all I'm saying about that. So I just can't believe that. You know?
No,
you don't, that just makes them sound like the worst human beings ever. Oh,
I get it.
We don't care about the people that have disabilities, so they can't come to our booth. You're fired. Like,
yes.
What the fuck? Really? I mean,
well, okay. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm comfortable being the asshole that is just going to assume, given everything else that they've done within their company, that that's not a stretch for me. The fact that so many people from not just inside the company, but tangentially related other companies that Streamlabs has dealt with and then stolen from and just acted like it was their own shit and swept everything under the rug and then sold to Logitech for $90 million off the back of everyone else's work, including open source software from OBS. You know, I can't not look at it and go, you know what? They're probably pretty shitty people. If I just had to take a fucking stab in the dark, they're probably pretty shitty.
I get that, bro. But what I'm saying is like this person could have been like, yeah, fucking, I don't know. I watched an employee kick a dog, outside and just fucking beat a dog's, whatever.
I also understand when you say that they seemingly wait to go public until these moments. And just for the same reason is that, maybe I know OBS did at the very least. Like when this originally was going on, OBS was voicing, concerns about this shit publicly, for example. So it's not that all of this is just wait until the moment kind of thing, but I'm
talking about these random third-party people that either work for the company or knows somebody that worked for the company, and you're hearing these horror stories. It's like,
so the only other thing is that I see it is that I'm positive, in fact, that some of the stories at the very least get exaggerated when these things come out because it's an easy time to exaggerate them. I also believe that, kind of similar to why unions exist, if just one person comes out with a story like that, and it's not dogpiling from like a bajillion other people on a relatively large entity like Streamlabs does, or the Streamlabs is, then it's just like this brief little fart in the wind and then it disappears and nothing happens. Now that this is all happening, it's like, somebody's saying something and they have a little bit of a platform. If we get on this platform together and bring what happened with ourselves at the time, we can now present to the world, not that it should be difficult to see given what we already know is factual, that there was other reasons why this company is being kind of shitty. It's kind of so I don't disagree that it does seem like dogpiling, because some of it definitely is. Similar to what happened with Me Too, where there were lots of people that just weaponized the fuck out of it. There are people that will weaponize this. Now, I don't think they'll weaponize at the same degree that Me Too did, but still, it's an opportunity to get in. They're on the ground, they come over and they kick them. Right? Like, the Streamlabs on the ground, it's my opportunity to go kick my old employer for fucking my shit up. So, I guess Fox has a point here, is that for many years, obviously, at both Blizzard and Activision, there's been some pretty crazy shit going on internally, and now that there's, multiple lawsuits from the state of California that kickstarted it, now they can get behind it, because otherwise it was just like, do I get blacklisted in my own own field of work for sticking my neck out and doing this shit? So you're fucked. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. Really, I guess is how it all works out. At the end.
Here's the thing, man. I just don't jump on bashing parties to jump on bashing parties. Like I just look at what OBS said. They've done some wrong. They've admitted to it. They deserve to get smashed on publicly by everybody on Twitter that's smashing them, including OBS. But anything else that I hear is hearsay. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it as factual.
Well, I can't come out and say I know certainly that this happened, but I could say that this is what's being going on and people are saying has happened, and then it's up to the people at home.
But you did say that.
No,
That's
I
what
say
I'm
that
saying,
personally.
Right?
I can make the jump. But that doesn't mean that I'm telling people that it happened. That's just me telling people that I can make the jump. It's the same thing as saying that earlier, it's like, this is not financial advice, but this sounds like a really good time to get in on Activision Blizzard, because that's your feeling on it, but you're not telling other people. You're still telling them to make their own thoughts up about that situation. Same with me. I'm saying that I can see what they did at the very genesis of their company with OBS and otherwise, other platforms that they worked with and partnered with, and then fucked in the ass and did that egregiously, and only changed it after all of this happened. They only removed OBS from their name. They only stopped paying advertisements in the last 24 hours because everyone is dogpiling them. They didn't do it when OBS originally went public with it. It took all of this before they went, okay, fine. And you know what? Like I have in my notes here, I bet you if fucking Logitech didn't buy them out, they still wouldn't have taken the shit out their name. Because I promise you, somebody at Logitech went, fuck, this looks really bad for us. We just bought your ass less than 2 years ago. And now you're out here on fire publicly. Do something about it. We'll pay for you to change your name on Twitter. We'll get rid of the ads on fucking Google. Make it happen, and make it happen quick. Because if Logitech wasn't in it, I don't think they'd even be that quick to change anything about it, honestly. So, like, for me, personally, when I see how they did it, and then I hear these stories, it's not a huge leap for me personally. But out there, if you're listening...
I respect that. Hey, yeah, absolutely.
But out there, if you're listening, and you want to be damn sure, or you just don't want to believe whether or not, because there is absolutely, and I will say this as well, people that will exaggerate their circumstance at the company. They might have got fired, and maybe it was in the majority for that reason, but maybe there was some other shit that was also happening that you'll never fucking know.
Maybe that person couldn't take no for an answer and kept bugging and bugging and bugging and then bitching and then saying, no, this is what we're gonna do. Hey, if you don't like what we're doing, you're fired. I mean,
yes,
that's a reasonable reason to get fired, right?
And you might not ever know that.
We're just going by what somebody said.
That's why everyone says a meme, allegedly, every time it happens.
There it is,
so
man.
I'm going to say allegedly they did this shit.
Boom. Nailed
allegedly.
it. Nailed it. But yeah, no, they're dirtbags. I mean, they did all. I'm on your side here. I'm on the side of the people here. What they did was scummy, sleazy, underhanding. They piggybacked off OBS. OBS is the real champion in streaming, period. Because without OBS,
we'd be fucked.
XSplit, you know what I mean? So XSplit works and it's fine, but it's not OBS. All right, it's just not.
No.
No. So yeah, I mean, it's like it's. I think what makes it worse is it's like if somebody tried to Skamaz gun run out of like his intellectual property, right? It's just like, you don't do that to Gunrun, right? You don't do that to OBS. You know, it's the same sort of darling to the streaming world. There's just certain people and entities and businesses that you just don't fuck with, right? And you just don't do wrong by because the people love these products or love what they've done and helped us evolve gaming. So yeah, shame on Streamlabs. I haven't used Streamlabs in years. I've been on Elements for a while. But yeah, I mean, Streamlabs is the same thing. When I stream from my phone, when I open up the app, they have OBS and everything on the app as well. Like
it's OBS everywhere, bro.
Yeah, it's just they're using the name OBS for their marketing, and they
knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted it, why didn't they buy OBS out? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure OBS has been offered, to be bought out.
Well, they've got corporate sponsored. Twitch sponsors them specifically now. So, like, it's YouTube, I think.
But
also,
I mean, holy fuck! I mean, if Logitech really wanted them that bad, I mean, they could have just said, hey, let's just buy OBS and then we own all of it, instead of this. But anyway, at least they're making the change. I think this is a good thing for OBS because they're getting great publicity right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and in the long run, I guess it all works out.
You know what, though? I'm fucking salty because after Muxy went under, the thing that I ended up switching my notifications over to is fucking Streamlabs. I don't pay them a red cent.
Dude, do Elements, man.
I don't pay them a red cent, but I ended up on Streamlabs, and now I'm fucked because now I'm going to have to spend time doing my shit all over again.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you can still use them. I mean, it's not no one's judging you, man.
My only solace is that I don't pay them money. If I paid the money, I'd be salty about that.
You don't pay them anything. I mean,
well,
I'm not
actually, that was one of the shitty things I did. Just to wrap this up, the last thing, because I forgot. I don't even think I wrote it down in my notes. So when people pay for their premium service, you know, they offer that premium service. I can't remember what they call it or whatever. And then people eventually canceled the service. There was a bug in the back end that continued to draw money out of those accounts, even though they had canceled the accounts.
Right.
And people would go back and say, hey, I canceled, and you're still drawing money out of my account. And they said, oh, sorry about that. We'll do that. We'll cancel that right for you, whatever. And they had to clear the charge back over and over and over again on the user side.
Wow.
Okay, guess what? They get charged again. Go back to them. Hey, by the way, we just had this conversation. You charged me again. That's kind of shitty. Maybe don't do that. Sorry about that. We'll get it done. Internally, people went to the owners and said, hey guys, we've got this pretty crippling bug right now where we keep charging people like $150 a fucking year or some shit to have this service. We should maybe fix that. And they said, no, it makes us too much money.
Makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
So there are some people that said that every month now they have to go in and charge back on PayPal or whatever to fucking cancel the fucking service over and over and over again. And some people have reported allegedly.
There you go. See?
Allegedly, more than a handful of people that had donated to streamers that use Streamlabs as their service, and you have to like sign, like you're using emails and shit on the back end when you're doing the donating and whatnot, that they started getting random charges of like $5 and $10 a month off of their accounts that they were sending the donations through. Just bleeding the money. So yeah, there you go. Streamlabs OBS. Go fuck yourself. I'm still going to use your free shit though, because I'll take money out of your pocket, but I'm not going to put any in. At least, hopefully not any of my I would be so angry if I found out, like, random donators for my, like, tips, like, people from my community were getting drawn money out of their fucking accounts for tipping me through their service. Holy shit. What a clusterfuck. So, yeah, maybe I am gonna have to take the time to fucking change my service again.